Hey everybody, it's Manny. This is going to be for day 10, Friday the 13th, 2018. Start the day doing our paper logs like we've been doing. We went over our homework, which was on chapter 20, accident procedures, touching on defining the situation, calculating the cost, securing the scene, documenting the accident, hazardous materials, vehicle fires, and evaluating the accident. We watched the video after on speed and space management while the classmate that needed the test to test out on 2 of the maneuvers for the school went and did that with the instructor on the training pad. While inside, me and 2 of the other classmates, we took the quiz on chapter 13, which was for the video, speed management. That touches on speeding and stopping distance, speeding and surface conditions, speeding and road shape, speeding and visibility, speeding and traffic flow, obeying the speed limit, as well as chapter 14, space management. That one touches on your cushion of space, turning space when crossing and entering traffic. After that, we just conversed between each other. Then the instructor and the classmate that was backing came back into the class. The instructor asked me and the other 2 students to go take 10 minutes away from the classroom. So we went up down the street to the Smokehouse Shell gas station down the street. Got a couple of drinks and just sat at the table for a little while, and then we came back. And unfortunately, the student that needed the 2 backing maneuvers wasn't able to complete the maneuver successfully and could no longer continue with the school. The instructor definitely went above and beyond for him. It just didn't work out. One of the other students drove him back to the hotel. David, if you're watching this, since I didn't get to see you after, you know how much you wanted this and how hard you worked at it. It's unfortunate that you couldn't continue. We'll miss you, man, and good luck with whatever is next for you. And so once the other student came back from dropping him off, we went over this speed and space management quiz that we took while they were out on the training pad. We watched the video on extreme driving conditions. Then we took the quiz on chapter 15, extreme driving conditions. That touches on adverse weather, rain and fog, hot weather, mountain driving. And then we watched some slideshows of hazard perception, and then we took the quiz after that, which was chapter 16. That touches on hazard recognition, road and user hazards, and planning ahead. After going over those quizzes, we then broke for lunch. Today was a day for our instructor to treat us to lunch. We came down over here by the hotel that we're staying at. There's a local restaurant called A Daily Special Cafe. They were pretty good, nice people. We 3 of us, mostly 3 of us, had the daily special, which was fried catfish fillets, 2 of them. Came with what looked like mozzarella cheese sticks, but they're actually hush puppies. I got the corn nuggets because they didn't have macaroni, and mashed potatoes. It was pretty good. The meal was really nice and hot. So it's a good place if any of y'all come and train over here. Decide to go on a day that he doesn't take you if he takes you there. So once back from lunch, we went out to do a pre-trip on the student truck. Only that this time we're using the truck we haven't used before. This one was the Kenworth T680. I didn't get to look at the year, but this was a student training truck that's an automatic. So we did a pre-trip on that. We were gonna bobtail it, so we only did the pre-trip on the tractor portion. So the instructor drove it over to a roadside on the frontage road and parked it there. And as per tradition between us, I was the first one to drive. So I drove about 13 miles or about 30 minutes to Ithaca, Texas. So I drove part of the way down on the frontage road, and then I got on I-35 West, driving south into the Ithaca town. Stopped there, and then another classmate drove from Ithaca back to Alvarado, and then the other one from Alvarado back to Ithaca, back to the school. So the one that drove from Ithaca to Alvarado got about 15 to 17 miles, and the one that drove back from Ithaca to the school got about 20 miles. Definitely a good experience. It feels like it's a big difference going from having trained on manuals for the last week to drive that automatic. So the student that brought it back to the school backed it up into the trailer that it was hooked up to before we left, and then we performed a post-trip inspection so that we could fill that out in our paper logs. While we were out driving, we actually got to use the ELD or electronic logging device, and required our drive time, as well as we got our logins for that. Once we got back to the school, into the classroom, we were informed that we are going to be going to Black River Falls, Wisconsin, to the headquarters of Millis. Got to arrive to the school Monday morning at about 3:30. So that means Sunday night I don't have to fall asleep at like 5 in the afternoon, just to be well rested. And that one's also going to be traditional, where I start to drive. So that's going to be on Monday, July 12th, 2018. And that we would be driving up to Black River Falls. We are going to stop and rest. I don't know if it'll be night or day, but we're going to be staying at a hotel in Bethany, Missouri. We'll have breakfast there, and the school's going to be providing a meal each day. And then once we get to Black River Falls, we'll also be staying in another hotel over there, get breakfast there, and get food. And we'll make the same trip back, stopping in Missouri and then finishing back here in Burleson. The students will be the ones driving the automatic Kenworth T680. That time it'll be with a trailer, and they'll have a load for Black River Falls. It's toilet paper. It's probably like 10 boxes of toilet paper that's in the back of that huge trailer. I thought that was funny. So the first day drive from Burleson, Texas to Bethany, Missouri, they'll give each of us a little more than about 225 miles, or about 3.5 hours of driving each. Then the second day it will be about 2 hours of drive time each, or about 140 miles each. While in Black River Falls, we'll be meeting the people of Millis that work there. We'll meet our recruiters, meet the dispatchers. We'll eventually meet our personal dispatcher once we're in our own truck, or whenever we get assigned one. And it's also said that we'll meet the CEO, President, Chairman, David Millis. We'll start driving back after that on Wednesday, July 18th, 2018, and make the same stop in Missouri, like I said, and be back in Burleson, Texas, Thursday night, with about a total miles driven around 730 miles and about 5.5 hours of drive time each for the round trip. It shouldn't be too bad. I drove total trip time 9 hours from home to get here at this hotel for the school, and that had 2 breaks in it, and that was all within a morning and an afternoon. So it shouldn't be bad doing the 730 miles each and about 5.5 hour drive time total. So I'm looking forward to it. The next day after that would be Friday, July 20th, 2018, which is also the last day of schooling. That following week we'll have the 3 days of orientation, and then we should be with our trainers. I don't know if it'd be that Wednesday, Thursday. Some of us may have to wait. We don't know yet, but sometime that week on the 25th or 26th, we should be getting with our trainers and doing those required 15,000 miles. At some point within those 15,000 miles, we should take somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks. Just depends on student, trainer, and if the trainer takes any time off within that time period. We should be testing. All of us said we'll test Black River Falls with Millis's third-party examiner, and then we'll come back with our forms once we pass and go to our respective states and go turn that in for our CDLs. So time's flying. Be in my own truck before I know it. That's for future Manny. Homework for the weekend is reading and doing the quizzes, although I already did the quizzes for these. It's chapter 27, Public Employer Relations. That's going to be touching on trucking industry image, contact with the public, customer relations, employer relations, what do employers look for, as well as chapter 28, which is special rigs. That will touch on multiple articulation vehicles, oversized vehicles, low clearance vehicles, high center of gravity vehicles, and chapter 29, which is on night driving. That one will touch on night driving factors, night driving procedures, and that'll be it with the Millis Training Institute book. Like I said, I did all those quizzes. We also have to do the week 2 test, which I also did the class earlier while we were waiting and conversing between each other. The other guys were talking. I was doing the test there in the room. So thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Only got 2 videos today, so since we did very limited driving and can only use the phone as long as we're not in the classroom or not driving. So here they are.